The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
I'm Emma, and this is The Alpha Sessions, and I'm here with Eliza May.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, we did it at the same time.
I was eager.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for coming down and taking the time to be with us in the studio today.
No, thank you for having me. I haven't done anything like this in a while, so it's nice to be around friendly people.
Yeah.
Just having a chat.
Yeah, 100% a chat. That's what I love about this. You get to find out all sorts of nuggets about people.
No one else knows.
You've actually come to see us on the 1 year anniversary of your EP Candy Heart.
I have.
Which is so exciting.
I know.
I feel like it's quite a marker point in your journey of music.
Thank you.
Talk us through the EP and what has it done for you so far? And what have you done for it so far?
Oh, it's a mutual relationship. I like that. So, yeah, Candy Heart, it came about because I'd written a load of songs from maybe around 2017 to the start of the pandemic. So 2020 was when I wrote Candy Heart, the month before we all went into lockdown.
Oh my gosh.
And I tested it out at a gig at the Hare and Hounds actually in Birmingham, supporting Declan J. Donovan. And at the time, I played it, I was like, I don't know if this song is as good as I think it is. But then I rehearsed it a bit more, I tweaked it in the pandemic, and it's one of my favourite songs to play, to be quite honest.
Oh, interesting. So you played live and then put it on the EP, not the other way around?
That's how most of my songs end up coming about. I like to test it on the audience first, because if it's not a song that relates to them as well as myself, then it's not always, I don't know, I think that's a good gauge on whether it'll do okay, well, that's going back in the bag then. Well, yeah, it gives me time to think about other ways I can rearrange it and make it better.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
But no, that whole EP kind of was a collection of songs over quite a few years, and it's all about the relationships, I wouldn't say struggles, but the ups and downs, the roller coaster that was my love life before my current partner. And it's really raw, really realistic, and it's about 3 different people actually.
Oh wow.
Because obviously that's a long period of time, 2017 to 2020, that's 3 whole years. But yeah, that whole journey, I wanted to document it, and I didn't at the time know it was going to be an EP. It was just songs I'd written and went, oh, they're really cool. And then I wanted to make a second EP and ended up putting them together in a specific order, and it told a story naturally, of falling in love, letting your guard down, and then by the end of it, it's a little bit sour. But yeah, it's just that natural journey of sometimes relationships work out, sometimes they don't, and yeah, everything happens for a reason.
I find that really interesting because it means that naturally by the process that you've done for that, your tracks work really well as a story but also individually.
Oh, thank you.
But the reason why I say that is because I always feel, without getting too historic, when you've got music that's on a physical copy and you put a CD in or you put a vinyl on and you listen to a story from beginning to end, it almost needs to be a story. But when you listen to music in the current streaming way, whether it's Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Prime, whatever, there's less of a need for that because people listen to tracks individually and then walk away, or you become more of a secondary medium.
Definitely. I think I love a good album format, though, I'm not going to lie. And I think having the story there, but also having to tailor the songs so that they're still their own thing is such a smart way of doing it. And having to do that kind of makes you think a little bit harder as a songwriter, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but no, I do love a solid story going through. But I think when I find music, I do find all of my music on Spotify, and I'll find a track that I really like from a release radar or something, and then delve into the album still.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Which leads me really nicely into 2 questions. I'm trying to think which way to go with it first, but I think I'm going to go this way. Is there plans to make an album? Would you expand the EP?
I would love to, but I think there needs to be the demand for it, really, because I feel in this day and age everyone's on TikTok and they're looking for the 30-second snippets, and if your song isn't I don't know, a super pop hit and it's really, really catchy, then a lot of the time it can be missed. So if there was enough of an audience that wanted that, then I would love to do an album. But also as well, it's a long project to do an album. I'm in the works of doing a 3rd EP at the moment.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that?
Oh, I can tell you some things. So I've been testing out all of the songs that are going to be on this 3rd EP over the last year. So people will have heard them if they've come to a live show.
Okay, great.
So Got My Love, the song that I actually played earlier, that's going to be the first single coming out hopefully later this year. Everything's just being mixed and mastered at the moment because we did 3 Sundays in the studio in February, and they were very intense days, 10-hour days of recording. But it was just so much fun, and I'm just excited to have new music out again. But yeah, it's all different stories, all to do with my life, the different journeys. Again, I feel I write from a very personal perspective.
What is it that activates in your brain? Sorry, I'm getting a little bit psychological. It kind of goes, right, we're going to turn this into an EP now. Is there a light bulb moment?
Well, It depends. I write a lot of songs, and because I test them live, I feel like I'm writing alongside testing them. So it's the songs are already there, and then I release them later. And then because I've already written more songs, it kind of naturally feels like these are the old songs, these are the new songs. This feels like an EP. This feels like the next thing.
Yeah.
I think like when I've written them in time, the time stamps are really kind of what I go off.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I love it when like you get to hear the kind of, I think because I'm really nosy, you get to hear the backstory to things, and I think other people like to find that out too.
Oh, I think it's nice to chat about, because a lot of the time you see a polished product as well, and not a lot of artists talk about it.
100%.
Yeah.
Wanted to chat about the fact that your website says you take inspo from Olivia Dean, Paramore and the Wombats.
Yeah.
Can we just address how eclectic that mix is first of all?
None of them are the same genre, really.
No. I actually read that before I heard your stuff, and I was like, wait, what? And then I heard it and I was like, makes sense.
Oh, thank God. Could have said anyone.
No, not at all. But I wanted to ask, like, what kind of music did you listen to when you were growing up, and like, how did you lead to that being your inspo?
Okay, that's a really good question. When I was like around 13, in your teenage years, I feel like there's a lot of, well, when I was growing up, there was a lot of bands that were like the staple bands to listen to when everyone was going through their emo phase.
Okay,
and
so
Paramore,
you grew up in an emo...
I did.
Okay.
I didn't look like I was having an emo phase. My hair was still in bunches, I'm telling you that now. But yeah, I really loved Paramore from the off, and I was introduced to their music by a friend.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, I really think you'd like this band. And so I went home, listened to them, and then kind of got sucked into their catalogue. I just love like Hayley Williams' voice, how raw it is, and how she doesn't hold back.
Yeah.
And her
100%.
songwriting's just incredible, like elite. So that really inspired me from the off.
So what do you think of the current Paramore situation? Didn't they finish their contract with a new label and starting with a new label?
Yeah, I think that'll do them good though, because they've been locked into that contract for so long.
Yeah.
And like, it would be interesting to see what they'd naturally do without having that as like such a long contract. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
And also, that's mad that they were in that from such a young age.
For context, I'm not the one in the know, but I think they signed, or Hayley Williams and co signed a contract when they were like 14.
Yeah,
and
13, 14.
Now it's been about 10 years, and obviously their sound's grown and stuff, and they've
Yeah.
had to like redo all their socials, redo all their imagery.
Right.
And
They've
all
like
that, and
taken on everything off their Instagram and then just started
everyone
posting
thought they were
fresh.
splitting up,
Yeah.
and then it suddenly became a bit of a whirlwind online.
Literally. And I think it's good though, because like artists shouldn't have to stick to their one image that they've had their entire life. Like if you want to do a different genre and test the water, they should be able to. And they've kind of done that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I feel like we'll really see their true colours like coming out a bit more now, which is exciting.
I feel like the cogs are turning. Anything could happen if we could.
Yeah.
So Paramore, obviously.
Yeah.
What else did you listen to growing up?
I loved Avril Lavigne when I was growing up.
Interesting.
I loved Avril Lavigne, like Skater Boy. I was there watching it on MTV, like
early noughties vibes.
Yeah,
Okay,
when I was like maybe younger than 10, I was watching it on MTV. I probably shouldn't have been, but I was.
Cool.
And anything that my mum was listening to, I was really interested in. She loved a bit of Corinne Bailey Rae. I love Corinne Bailey Rae's music. I think her voice is just stunning.
She's amazing.
She is amazing. I still can't believe how long her career has like lasted, because she's
Didn't
such
she
an
release
icon.
something recently?
I think so. I haven't heard it yet, but I know that she's still doing stuff, and she's been on festival lineups. And
She did a session at Rough Trade East recently,
no
so I was like, ooh, new stuff.
I'm excited. Honestly, I've got to tell my mum. But yeah, like anything that was on in the car, like I'd be like listening to.
So you're just about to play Green Light for us.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about this song and where it came from.
Yeah, so Green Light I wrote in the early stages of my relationship with my partner now. Basically, when I first started seeing him, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I was like, is this too good to be true? I was kind of waiting for someone to be like, basically give me a green light saying, yeah, you've got the go ahead. This is a good person to be with. Like, you finally found your person. And that's kind of what it is. It's kind of been it's a little bit about being apprehensive, but also like trying to like let your walls come down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's about.
And do they know that you've written the song about them?
Oh yeah, I live with them, so they know every song that has ever been written about them. There's a few.
Are they like, oh, you're writing about me?
Oh no, they absolutely love it.
Oh, fine.
They know my vibe now.
They say that things are better when you step aside. I say that things are better when we're side by side. But don't take my word on it, I could be wrong like I've been all those times before. My words just create a short score, and but I don't trust myself to fly. I'm holding back until the green light. Best when I got you inside. You may say that I've always been on your mind, but don't take my word on it. This could be wrong, like it's been all those times before. I just wanna know that you're sure. Take both my heart, and so I'll give you mine. There's so much time up here is black and white as I foot on by. My wings aren't clipped this time, but I don't trust myself to fly. I'm holding back until the green light. Green light. I'm holding on. I'm holding on. I'm holding on. Take both my heart, and so I'll give you mine. There's so much time up here is black and white as I foot on by. My wings aren't clipped this time, but I don't trust myself to fly. I'm holding back until the green light. Green light. I'm holding on. I'm holding on. I'm holding on until the green light.
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
So, like, at what point did music become a really big thing in your life? And when did you start, like, trying out instruments and writing songs and all that kind of stuff?
It was quite young. Like, I was singing pretty much as soon as I could talk. It was
Oh my gosh.
really weird. Like, you know when you kind of know your calling?
Yeah.
I feel like that's
really
always something I've known, which I know is a rarity. Like, I've had a lot of people be like, I don't know what I'm doing in life. And they look at me like, you know what you're doing? I'm like, I sort of know what I'm doing. I know what I want to do. I'm just trying to get there slowly. But yeah, I started singing when I was like 3 years old. I wasn't technically singing. I was like copying like the phrases from the TV because I couldn't really speak that well at the time as a 3-year-old.
I get there.
Yeah, but yeah, from there I just really loved it. And then when I was in primary school, I learned like the recorder, as everyone usually does. And then I picked up guitar when I was about 6, and then tried like a little bit of keyboard in school as well, and now I play like 5 different instruments.
So it's always been like your thing.
Yeah, I feel like I've just been so drawn to it from the off, and it's nice to know that I have something that I can always fall back on that makes me happy, and I can just go back to my roots with.
I know lots of kids that try instruments and it helps them, whatever, but it still blows my mind just because I can't do it, and if I wrote a song it would sound awful.
Oh no, I think you could do it. I think you could.
But like, at what point did you think, right, I'm going to make a really good go at this now, like I'm going to make this my thing?
Well, when I was like 11, 12 years old, I was already like writing for fun, because like I'd come up with little like melodies in my head and I'd be like, oh, that sounds really cool, and like it was a way of like expressing myself and just getting my thoughts down on paper. And then like I wrote a lot of bad songs, like they were not good, they were just kind of like average words on a page. Like nothing
Sure,
was really
better
making
than mine
sense.
now. To be fair.
No, don't say that.
Trust me.
But yeah, and then I don't think I wrote a good song until I was about 17, and I wrote the song. No, I think I was 19 actually. Yeah, I wrote it halfway through uni. Around that time, I was doing a lot of writing. I was like, is it getting better? I'm not sure. But like, I was in my first year of uni. I turned 19, and I wrote the song "Fading Away," which is on my first EP.
Yeah.
And at the time, didn't know actually what it was about. I was like, this just sounds really good. But then like I started like connecting with it more, and I think the meaning of a song can change over time as well. So like that song for me, I feel like it just reminds me of like first writing and like putting my feelings down in a way that was very poetic and connecting with like my inner, like what I was feeling at the time.
Does it make you feel quite exposed?
A little bit, yeah. I think
like vulnerable in that way.
Every song you ever write makes you feel exposed, and you're like, should I put this out? I'm not sure.
Do I want this on the radio?
Yeah, because then you don't realise how many people could potentially hear it. Like no one could hear it, or everyone could hear it. There's no like real middle ground, because at least some person will bring it up when you see them. But yeah, I wrote my first good song at 19, and then from there it kind of like spiraled. But I also did a degree in popular music, and I think having like that area to kind of experiment with other musicians and like bounce off other creatives and see what works and what doesn't, I feel like that really was helpful.
Who's the first person you play it to get feedback?
Oh, so it used to be my mum,
okay.
Because I used to live with my mum, and she was just there, and she'd go, is that a new song? And I go, I'm not saying it until it's finished, but yes. And then now I live with my partner, so he's usually the first person that hears it. I also send it to my good friend Izzy Grace as well, because I know that her musical style is very similar to kind of like my musical style in terms of writing, and she'll be able to tell me if something's good or not. Like she's honest, so I really value that opinion.
I interviewed someone recently, and in the last few months, and their response to that question was my cat.
Oh my gosh.
And I always think that's just so good.
That's really cute.
Like, how do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I do play in front of my dog. I have a little beagle, but she's not really giving me much back. She's just like, yeah, more music.
So good. You also support Kate Nash.
I did.
Talk to us about how that came about and what it was like.
That was the most incredible thing ever. Like, it didn't feel real.
Are you
like,
a big fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I loved her music, and like, again, one of the people that I kind of listened to growing up, like Foundations is a classic, and no one can say different.
Can we just say, Eliza's got a tote bag on her website that's sold out, and it says something about too many lemons, which is obviously a Kate Nash lyric.
Well, it's linked to my song as well, so I think this is a part of why she chose me. So I'll go from the beginning of how it happened.
Please do.
I saw she put a tweet up on Twitter. Someone had messaged her being like, "Oh, I'd love to support you. Like, how can artists get involved on your tour?" Because she was independent completely at this time, and I don't know if she still is now, but she's not linked to the same label she was in the past. So
how long ago was this?
This was 2022.
Okay.
So
recently?
Yeah, like a couple of years ago. Yeah. So this was maybe Jan, Feb time I saw this tweet, and she was like, "Oh, just email me." And I was like,
my gosh.
I'm on that. I'm going to email her. But I didn't think anything of it. Like, she's Kate Nash. Like, she's so cool. She's so big. So I sent an email being like, "Hi, I'd really love to support you. I think my music might suit your like kind of vibe. No worries if not, but like here's the link." And then about 2 months later, like I think it was a month before she was due to like go on her tour, I got an email from her manager being like, "Hi, Kate really likes your music and wants you to support in Birmingham." And I was like,
"Oh my gosh!"
I was playing like the world's driest gig at the time. Like no one was really there. I don't even know how I ended up at this lineup. To be quite honest, it was like a really heavy, like indie rock band, and I was playing acoustically for this gig as well. So it was just me and my little acoustic guitar, and then like a load of bands. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm in the right place here. But I got that message after I performed. I was like, oh, it was an all right night. And I saw that, and I've got like physical like photos. They're on my Instagram now actually of my face when I got that message, because I was just so in shock. And I like sent it immediately to my band and was like, "Guys, do you want to support Kate Nash?" She replied, and they were like, "What?" They just didn't believe the message until I sent the email confirmation.
It is quite surreal. Let's be fair.
It's not. It doesn't happen every day. Like
100%.
And I think it's good that artists like her are doing stuff like that though, because there's so many incredible independent artists that aren't always necessarily getting that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be honest, my band were the only band on that lineup. Like everyone else she chose were acoustic artists. So I felt really honoured that I got to play with her band, like with my band, supporting her band. Like, was absolutely mental. Like,
yeah,
one of my favourite things to ever happen in my entire music career, to be honest. Yeah, it was a big one.
I feel like that's a stamp.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the best thing I've ever done. Hopefully I can do more.
Yeah. You mentioned your band briefly.
Yeah.
Talk us through who's in it and what they play.
So you've got myself playing rhythm guitar, both electric and acoustic. And
I'm really glad you said that. 'Cause if you weren't in it, that'd be a bit
I know, it's not actually me. I'm just the manager. And then we have my guitarist Sophie Snelling. I met her at university. She's like my lead guitarist. She comes up with all of the like twiddly bits, and she's just the best guitarist I've ever met. And she lives in Cornwall, so like she comes up for gigs.
Wow.
And she's really dedicated. And I think like without her, my music wouldn't be as good as it is at all. To be honest, without any of these guys, it wouldn't be that good, because I come to them with like just the guitar part and the vocals, and they just make their own parts and take it to a new level.
But I think the fact that you know that it needs that is a
Yeah.
testament to you.
Well, I think as well, like, I have like a vision in my brain of how a song should sound, and I know personally I can't play every single instrument. I am definitely not a one-man band. Like, it cannot be done by me. So to have like these band members are amazing. But we've got my keys player Jared Tyson. He is incredible. I searched so long and hard to find a keys player that was like that wanted to be there playing the music that I was making, and also like just could pick up what was going on in my head and turn it into their own thing. And he's just really good at that. And then I have my bass player called Ben Cooper. He's also in another independent artist band. The band is called Genevieve Miles. She's another incredible artist. So he's in both our bands, and it's just nice to have like a friendship with their band. And it's another female artist. It's just great. But he's the coolest bass player. He plays on a 5-string bass.
Ooh,
And I'm like,
cool.
oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And then we have my drummer, Jack Ensor. He is the most talented drummer in Birmingham, I'm not going to lie. Like, at first I didn't have a drummer for a good couple of years, and I was testing out drummers. And I was at a different person's gig, and I was like, I'm really looking for a drummer. And a friend of ours introduced us, and he's been my drummer ever since.
Oh.
So it's really nice.
That's like a little like matchmake thing.
Yeah,
That's
but
really cool.
overall it took me 3 years to find all
There
of
should be an
them.
app for that. A bit like there
There
is
is.
like, is there actually?
There is, but I don't know if it's the greatest app. I know it's trying to do well.
It should be like swipe right if you need a drummer.
It
or like...
actually is like that. I think it's called Vamper. Like, that's the app.
Oh,
so.
okay, we need to work on that.
Yeah.
It's good business idea.
I've been watching every move you make. Summer glow on your face, and I don't seem to mind that things have changed, it ain't the same. For better they always say, and now I see it the way it should stay. 'Cause I've been falling down the rabbit hole. Now the skies are clearer and the path is gold. I've been holding on to blue skies and sunshine. I'm holding on to good vibes, no good vibes. I'm holding on to each moment that feels right. I got my love. Ooh, I've been holding on to your eyes and lifelines. I'm holding on to divine sunrise. I'm holding on to each moment that feels right. I got my love. Ooh. I've been waking up to better days. Just feels like I'm in the right place, and I see your face and smile. 'Cause every day I think the same. I'm lucky to have you staying now. I know somehow that I've been falling down the rabbit hole. And now the skies are clearer and the path is gold. I've been holding on to blue skies and sunshine. I'm holding on to good vibes, no good vibes. I'm holding on to each moment that feels right. I got my love. Ooh, I've been holding on to your eyes and lifelines. I'm holding on to divine sunrise. I'm holding on to each moment that feels right. I got my love. Ooh, yeah. Each moment that feels right, I got my love. Ooh, I've been on and on. Your eyes and lifelines, I'm on and on. Divine sunrise, I'm on and on. Each moment that feels right, I got my love. I got my love.
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
You mentioned at the start of the interview that you had an EP coming out soon. You're working on an EP. Yeah. Is there like a time frame for that, an ETA?
So I know that I'm going to start releasing it as like singles because every time I've released an EP, I'll release a certain amount of singles, and then like the ones that are actually on the EP, they're not heard by as many people because again, people aren't listening to full storied like albums and EPs really at the moment. They're listening to like single.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to drop the EP in that kind of way. But the first track I want it out by at least the end of August, like minimum. So you'll be hearing at least.
We're going to hold you to that. So if it gets to September and we haven't heard anything, I'm going to go, oi.
I'll expect it, don't worry. I need someone to do that.
I also noticed and also heard on the grapevine, I haven't heard it actually, but you've got an amazing Eliza Play playlist.
Oh yeah, Eliza May's Play.
So what do people need to do to feature on this playlist?
So basically the way you can get involved with that is in my Instagram and TikTok bio. To be honest, in any of my social media bios, there's a link that says submit music to Eliza May's Press Play. It only opens for 5 days of the month though, because I just get a lot of submissions at this point. At first I didn't get that many. Yeah, I get so many. No. At the beginning though, I didn't get that many, and I was like, oh, this is doable. Like, keep it open for 5 days. Like, the people will send them. I think the first time I did it as like a Google form, because originally I put it out on Twitter as a tweet. And it got like over 600 replies. Like it went a bit mental. And I was like, I cannot go through everything. And I did for that first round, but it took a lot. And I was struggling to find like if I'd figured out if I'd gone through everything, and it was so many things coming my way, I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I made a Google Docs form, and then people slowed down because they were like, I've got to fill in a form. But the people that really wanted to get their music heard did, and I was really grateful for that, because the quality of music then increased as well. Yeah. Because I think at first a lot of people were just throwing their music because they were like, there's a tweet that someone wants my music. So once I got the Google form in place, that was a lot easier. And then since then I do it every single month, and if I don't do it on a month, I'm probably ill, to be quite honest. But or it's like a Christmas or a birthday or something, but like I try and do it every single month, and I listen to every single submission that's sent to me. So yeah, I open it normally at the end of the third week of the month, and then I close it the following Tuesday. So you get like from Thursday, Friday to Tuesday to send me music, and then at midnight on the Tuesday I close submissions. So, but like in the last round, so at first I was
like a competition.
Well, no, that's the opposite effect of what I want to have. I want everyone to like have their music heard, and I genuinely do listen to every single song, and I give them the time. Yeah. It's a lot, but like I put aside 2 days usually. It might become 3 if more submissions come my way.
So great.
But I normally post like promotional videos on TikTok, and that I think a lot of my music being sent to me now is through TikTok.
Okay.
So it's connecting to the right people, it seems. I've met so many cool artists through it, and it's nice because I'll share, like I'll tag them basically saying, oh, the playlist is up, and then they'll reshare it on their story and be like, oh my god, thank you so much, and then I'll create like a little friendship with them. It's just really nice to have that community aspect, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to just be like a normal playlist where you send your music, it's on there for a bit, cool. I wanted people to feel the impact of that, and as an artist myself, I know how beneficial a good playlist is. So yeah.
If we are sort of in the playlist world,
and
we were to jump on your device, which had a streaming platform on it, what would we find on there?
As in like my own stuff or the
playlist?
As in
like music wise, like what are you into right now?
I'm into pretty much everything, but as an indie pop artist, obviously I love indie pop. Okay. So if you're making an indie pop track, sometimes it may resonate more, but I try and like listen to everything. Like I love a load of genres. I love jazz, I love R&B, I love soul, I love rock. Like I've had metal artists on the playlist, and like I just love, when I'm creating the playlist, I kind of look for a flow. So like I want loads of different genres so that one can lead into the other. So like in this kind
like a little segue.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't want it to just be one genre. Like it's not helping anyone. It's helping just one community.
Yeah.
So like, to make it fair, I try and listen to everything, get a little bit of everything on. We've had like a bit of dance music on as well. I love a house track. So like, if anyone's got some good house tracks, like, please send it my way. I'll be there like in the car driving away.
I feel like you have to be in a certain place though.
Yeah. I normally, when I'm doing, I've got my laptop there, I'm at home, just headphones on, just listening. And I just love music, so it's not a chore to me. It's quite fun. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
And speaking of communities, like, you're really good at working with the community, I guess, being from West Midlands and doing music therapy stuff.
Yeah.
Talk us a little bit about what you do with that and how that works, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. So I work for a lot of music charities in the West Midlands, and I'm put on a lot of projects. So a lot of the projects are working with kids that have mental health issues or disabilities, and it's getting them involved in music and giving them the confidence to just express themselves in that way. And music has helped me so much throughout my life. Like, it's opened so many doors, and I never expected to be where I am now, to be honest. It was always a dream to be an artist. So to see firsthand, like, how incredible the opportunities are and the music world can be, I just want to pass that on to other people. Because if it can do so much for me, it can definitely do so much for these kids. And they're not bad kids wherever they, like, when they're put in like PRUs, or if they're in inpatient hospitals and they're seen as naughty, or like wherever they are, they're good kids. They just haven't been given the opportunity to show that. And they just need that support. So I'm glad that, like, the work that I do with all these music charities really helps in that way. And we usually get them to like make a track by the end of the project, and it's over a course of a set of months, and we're like, hey, what do you want to do, what instrument do you want to play? Like, it's completely up to you what you do in the session. And then by the end of the year, usually they've made like a full song, they've written the lyrics.
Oh my gosh,
like,
that's so good.
They're so talented, these kids. Like, and they're not just like people that have done music before, they're people that have never picked up instruments before, and they're learning it for the first time. It's amazing. Give us an example of some of the charities that you work with. So one's called Quench Arts. It's very much based in Birmingham. There's another charity called The Hive, which is based in Shrewsbury. There's another great charity that I haven't worked with them as much in the last couple of years, but when they had a bit more funding a couple years before the pandemic, there was a charity called Make Some Noise. And they're so cool as well. Like, there's so many. There's the Mac as well in Birmingham. Mac Makes Music. That's their like charity side of things. There's so many.
Okay.
It's amazing.
That's so great. Really excited by that.
Oh, thank you.
We can talk some more off air.
Yes, please.
And then finally, people have probably noticed there's a little bit of a West Midlands twang in your accent.
Slightly, yes.
Talk us through like the Birmingham music scene at the moment. Has it been good to you? Yeah,
so I started gigging properly in the Birmingham scene probably when I was like 17, 18. I started by busking, so I really love busking. It's always got a place in my heart.
Are there a lot of busking points in Birmingham?
Not anymore. Yeah. So back in like 2015, 2016, busking, you'd walk down Birmingham New Street and there was so many buskers.
Yeah.
But like there's been I don't know if it's a ban, but there's basically the council have said that after a certain amount of noise you can't play, like you can't have amplification in the streets, which is so sad because there's so many great buskers. And to be honest, there are still a few buskers that are around, but the spots have changed compared to back then. And like, I think the closer you are to like the actual bull, by the bull ring itself, and like the big Primark that's now there, like that kind of area seems to do really well, but you can't really stay there for long. It seems like it's not as vibrant in the busking
quite regulated
world. Yeah. And I can understand like not wanting, you know, amplification all of the time. Like after a certain time it's probably a bit much, but like I still think it's a bit harsh to have such an intense kind of ban on amplification, especially as like there's so many creatives that are sharing their music. It's such it was a vibrant community like maybe 2015, 2016, and now I think it's kind of like fading out a little bit, which is such a shame. But that's why I started coming to London, and I'm part of the Busking London scheme, and I love like connecting and busking like down here, and hopefully I can just busk in other places as well and expand that in the future.
If people want to find out more about you, where can they go? What can they do?
So I am at Eliza May Official on all socials, other than Twitter, because Twitter, that's too many characters for Twitter apparently. So I'm at Eliza May Music on there. And yeah, I have a website as well, which is elizamaymusic.com. And I post pretty much everything on all my socials on my website. So I'm always on there.
So get involved.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you so much for coming in the studio. I feel like we only just touched on everything by the surface. We could be chatting here for hours.
Oh, I feel like we connect so well. I can go on for ages.
Maybe we should do like a part 2 or like a kind of outtakes or something. I don't know. That'd be
cool.
Funny. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming in. Really appreciate you spending the time.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
just falling on my knees, trying to keep things close to me, holding on to just what I need. But I let my grip get loose, dropped the anchor to my feet, and now it's pulling on me. Sometimes life can give you lemons, and sometimes it gives you love, but you never know until you pull the gun. 'Cause you don't know what you have until it's gone. You told me a lifetime is what it takes to find your soul. You got to be kidding, 'cause we too young for all of this madness, and I won't play into it, 'cause we are on the edge of this, you know. You were watching from afar, intervening with the plot, tracing overruled the right dots. But you let me slip on by, watch me drown as the anchor sinks, and now it's clear what you think. 'Cause you don't know what you have until it's gone. You told me a lifetime is what it takes to find your soul. You got to be kidding, 'cause we are far too young for all of this madness, and I won't play into it, 'cause we're from the edge of this, you know. Will you love me so? Please let me go. Will you love me so? Please let me go. Love me so? Please let me go. 'Cause sometimes life can give you lemons, and sometimes it gives you love, but you'll never know until you pull the gun. 'Cause you don't know what you have until I'm gone. You told me a lifetime is what it takes to find your soul. You got to be kidding, 'cause we